So guys, today we're going to be talking about 3 hacks to increase your consistency. Now the reason I chose this topic is it's in our motto, consistency, intensity and attitude. And I think with a lot of the things that you hear us talk about, consistency is it's the foundation, it's the framework. Whatever you consistently do is what you'll consistently be, right? And there's a saying as well, the grass is greener on the other side is what we often think of different things, but no, it's like the grass is greener where you consistently water it. So if you want to get more consistent at something, then you need to focus on that thing consistently, right? So I want to give you 3 things, 3 hacks, and look, you've probably heard these before, but I think, and a lot of you guys are also very professionals in what you guys do as careers and things like that. So it's probably not going to be anything new to you, but I think you'll agree that we often need reminding of the basics and the fundamentals behind certain things so that we can improve and always just go, okay, hang on, I'm getting overwhelmed. I need you to step back and go back to the basics, to be able to, to improve and get better and work on the things that are important to me right now. So I want to give you 3 hacks that I feel are 3 very important ones and probably the priority and where to start when you get overwhelmed and you need to just get back into the mode of doing something consistently. Of course, there's many others and there's other behaviors and habits and things that we can get into based on what is your priority, what is your target, your goal. But these 3 things really help me stay consistent, and they're always a work in progress. I'm not perfect at these 3 things either, guys, and none of us will ever be perfect. But it's how can we consistently get better, right? So that's what I wanted to talk about with you guys today. So I'm just having trouble bringing up my video here. I'm just going to quickly check that I am live. Yeah, cool. Hey, Am, Mozza. Awesome, guys. I just haven't popped up yet on my screen. But team, what I will ask you about as well is while you're waiting, what is your goal at the moment, or what sort of consistency hacks do you have? What things do you use to try and stay consistent at something? So whack them definitely into the comment section. And for some reason, I cannot see a thing here. So hopefully you guys can. Yes, cool, I've got it now. A bit of a refresh. So team, definitely get your questions in as well so that I can answer them at the end. But yeah, what are your consistency hacks that you use to help you be more consistent? Hey Mads and Rena, welcome guys. Thanks for joining me. I now have visual. I'm in the screen. I have my laptop here so I can see your comments, guys. So yeah, get them in. Cool. All right, let me start with number 1. So number 1 for me is time blocking. So whether you use a physical diary or you use a digital calendar on your phone, which is what I prefer to use, it's time blocking, right? So time blocks or chunking. So what I mean by that is you look at your calendar for the day and you literally set out how long a certain task is going to take you and you allocate time to that. So your day, and to be honest guys, I might show you guys an example on my computer of my calendar so you get an idea of what I mean after I've completed these 3 hacks with you. But what are the priorities for the day? How much time can you allocate to them? And you block that time out. Now, the key is with these time blocks as well is trying to make them non-negotiable to change them. So you've got to try and set that time, okay, at 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. I'm at training, okay? So that is non-negotiable. That is the time I'm going to be there. From 7 till 7:15, I'm traveling home. From 7:30, I'm having breakfast. I've had my shower, whatever. Allocate, you can get as specific as you want, minute by minute and try and stick to those times. But when you're just starting out, start with the basics and just try and time block the priorities for the day so that it helps you stay consistent with sticking to those things. But the key with it is, with those priorities, they should be based around what is important to you. So what are your goals right now? Obviously we have a certain time block that is there for work. So, we've got work, we've got pleasure, or free time in there, or you've got, family time. And you're going to see a few examples on my calendar. But like just time blocking these little things, your workouts, all of that sort of thing into these 30 to 90 minute blocks. 30 to 90 minutes. So depending on what that task is or that time block, what that priority is, 30 to 90 minutes is a great amount of time. I just find, especially with in my workday, so with things that I need to prioritise for the business, is any more than 90 minutes and start to get very fatigued in terms of concentration starts to drop and things like that. So I know that anywhere for me is 45 to 90 minutes tops, and then I need to have a break, whether that's it could be having lunch or it could be a 15-minute coffee break or read or something like that, just to break up that priority task. But obviously, like I'm talking on a holistic level of looking at training, looking at your work schedule. What have you got in the evenings? Like, can you allocate family time? Like, and to be honest, family time's a massive one for me, but it's been very, very hard for me to stick to. And this is like one of my struggles is trying to make sure that that's a massive priority for me, but I'm probably not reflecting that realistically lately because of the amount of work I've been doing here and things like that. That I've been stepping away from the priority that is really, really important to me, and I need to switch back on and get back to being consistent at my family time, right? So like you're going to have these little things that you need to continually work on. But time blocking is number one, team, and I hope that sort of makes sense. So who's in here? Jonesy, Jackson, welcome guys. Got a handful of you in here, team. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Number one is blocking those times. Number two is you want to mark it off daily. So whatever your priority is. So now with this, I'm talking about what is your one, maybe two, but preferably one priority at the moment. And you're going to see with Back to Basics, we're going to be bringing in a choose one, lose one scenario for you guys to focus on a monthly basis. So for the month of August, we're going to give you a whole heap of different habits or behaviours that we know are very common in terms of helping people get better with their health. And it's going to be a matter of, hey, Jonesy, which one do you want to choose to work on for August, and which habit or behaviour that isn't so great are we going to lose, okay? So in that instance, it's like you pick a behaviour like I'm going to drink 2 litres of water every day. And that is your target for the month. So you've just got to, every single day on your calendar, whether it's a physical calendar, and you cross off, yep, I did it on the 1st of August, and then the next day, I did it on the 2nd of August. And you just continually, visually, you're seeing you crossing it off as you go through the month, and that can be very motivating and very inspiring of, I'm doing this, like it's happening, I can't let a day go where I have a gap. So that is a really good strategy for trying to make sure that you're consistent with that one priority, maybe 2 priorities, right? But just start with one, keep it basic, but marking it off daily. And I'll show you in my calendar, like if you use Google Calendar, I don't know about any other calendars out there, because that's what I use, is you can actually set goals in there now. So you can set goals, how long that is, how many days of the week you have that goal for. So for instance, using your workouts as an example, you'll have workout, I just want to work out Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's going to be between 6 and 7. But because it's so smart, Google will actually place your workout where you have a gap in your calendar. So if you don't set the exact time or you keep moving that time, it'll get used to and learn where you keep moving your workout to, and it'll put it into the calendar over many, many months at that time, and it'll just continually update. But it's just a digital way of doing the same thing where you can just click it and you pick, I marked it off, I completed that workout. And that way it's another way of keeping you consistent. Okay, so marking it off daily, visually, whether it's digital or on a calendar, is a great way for you to visually see and stay motivated. Okay, so that's number 2. Hey, Joe and Nick, welcome guys. Make sure you go back and watch this over. City's just walked in.
Hey team.
Welcome team. So number 1, just recapping, time blocking. 30-minute time blocks of the things that are priorities for you. Number 2 is pick a goal for a month, and we're going to mark it off every day that you have completed that task. Visually, you're going to see that you are completing it, or if you get gaps, then you're going to go, shit, like I need to pick up my game here. You will not want to see that there's a space, all right, on your calendar. Number 3 now is a big one. This is the big one. running out of board, I wrote it so big. Get public accountability, okay? How often do you choose to do something, or you say you're going to do something, but because no one knows about it, it doesn't matter if you fail at that task, right? But if you get public accountability, if you tell a family member, if you tell a friend, this is what I'm working on, they'll be there, and you ask for their support, they'll be there to help you, to say, hey, are you on track with this? Hey, how are you going with that? To help keep you motivated and accountable. You can use our familiar page for these. And like I said, we're going to be introducing one of the Training for Warriors things that they do. We're going to implement it here because it's come from Martin Rooney, one of my mentors, and he does a choose one, lose one. So we're implementing that for this reason, that you'll be able to use the familiar group to go, my choose one for this month is I'm going to drink 2 litres of water. My choose one for this month is I have to get 20 minutes extra sleep per night. So I'm targeting 7 hours of sleep per night, or whatever it might be. That is going to be the idea behind it. I'm going to lose drinking 5 nights a week. I'm going to make sure that's only 2. Like, we're going to lose certain habits and we're going to gain new ones, okay? So that's the idea, is getting that public accountability that's visual. Your friends are going to see it and you know, therefore have your support, have your back and help you. The other big one is get a coach. Like, you guys have coaches here, so you're lucky in that regard that you guys are already well ahead of the game than most people, that you guys have coaches, but you've got to use them, right? So you've got to use the coach to help you keep accountable to these things. And again, that's the idea behind what we're going to introduce for you guys. But it could be just a family member, it could be a friend, or it could be a coach that you need for your business. It could be a coach that you need in your career, or a mentor at work. Whatever is there, depending on what your priority is and what your goal is, that's where you need to focus and get the coach or the accountability for that task. It's the only way you're going to stay accountable to it, okay? So I hope that makes sense to you. Mads, love the incentive. I've been keen to participate from over here. Okay, cool. Awesome, dude. Hey, Kazak, welcome, buddy. Thank you, guys. So, like, tell me, team, you guys that are in here, there's 10 or 12 of you guys in here at the moment, like, tell me, do you have a hack? Do you have something that's a bit different that helps you stay consistent? Or tell me, what is one thing that you're struggling with right now that, you know, can you start to implement a time for it, like put it into your calendar? Can you have a calendar open where you can mark it off every day that you complete that habit or that task? And who can you get to keep you accountable? So, like, what have you got? What are you guys working on at the moment, or what other hacks do you guys have? Because all I want to do next is I want to actually show you guys my calendar. So I'm going to pick the phone up in a sec and show you what I do. I don't use a paper. I'm a digital man. So I like to use Google Calendar on mine, and I'm going to show you how I've time block and what I do. And like I said, I'm not perfect. It doesn't always work 100%. There's always going to be spinners thrown into the works, but it's like, how consistent can you be with trying to stay on track with it? Because the more you plan, the better off you're going to be, okay? The more you water it, the greener the grass is going to be on the things that you prioritize. So you've got to get your priorities, you've got to get your non-negotiables. Hope I spelled it right, guys. You've got to get down what is non-negotiable for you. Is it training and family time? You know, is it obviously you have to be at work at these certain times, like they're non-negotiable. So get them into your calendar first and then work backwards from there. It could be, and I'm a big one for this, guys. You've got to try and make sure you have free time and time in there to do the things that you also love. Is it watching a movie? Is it, you know, going to the races, or, you know, anything that interests you, playing sport, all of that sort of thing. You need to prioritize first, block it out, and then we're going to mark off what's important, what do you want to focus on at that amount of time, and then get accountable with it. So, Nick, what have we got here? Visual reminders, yeah, cool, to keep on track. It's on your fridge, yeah, awesome, dude. I'm visual as well, so that's hence why I use the calendar, because I'm always working on my laptop. I have different reminders and things, and there's actually, what's this app called? Like on the work side of things, I can't remember what this app is actually called now. Funny, that doesn't even have the name on it. I'll find out what it is. But basically, it's like a little Chrome extension that you have at the top of your screen. So for all your tasks where you're working on your computer, you literally set a period of time. I'm going to work for the next 30, 35, 40 minutes, whatever it might be. And then it's going to ring an alarm to say, okay, that time block's over. Go and have a coffee or whatever. And you can set a rest interval then of how long you're not going to work for. and then you come back and you reset and do it again. So it's a really cool little app that I've been experimenting with over the last couple of months, and it's been pretty cool. But yeah, visual is definitely helping, mate. Fridge and stuff like that. Mad's been finding it so hard to be accountable while I'm by yourself overseas. Yep, was so much easier surrounded by the familiar. Awesome, thanks, dude. So I was writing my food diary and sending it to my mum every day to hold me accountable. Great. Still have a few too many drinks in there, but hey, I'm a 22-year-old traveller, right? Exactly. And you're in the UK, mate, so you're in the spot for that. But yeah, 100%, dude. And that's fantastic that you're sending it to Joe, every week or whatever you mentioned that you were doing. It's that accountability that's going to help get you over the line, guys. Because if you're not accountable, then who cares if you don't do it? And it's very easy for you to just push it to the side. Hey, Leslie, how are you, buddy? Kaza, I block off 5:30 to 7 each weekday. That's in the morning to train. In my diary on my phone. Try to be home by 6 p.m. So I can cook and prep dinner. Yeah, absolutely awesome. Joe's got a habit to lose is mindless snacking, boredom eating. Okay, cool. So this is where we can discuss about strategies that you can use to start to put in your calendar to mark it off every day that you've done it. Okay. Cool. Nikki Hansen, welcome, buddy. Renuka, I'm not sure I said hello to you. Welcome, guys. Right, what I might do, I'm going to flick over to my calendar now. You guys can keep commenting and bringing in any questions that you have. And while you're at it, just give me a love or a like if you've got any sort of value from these three things. I'd like to know whether you guys are enjoying this sort of stuff or not. Because I obviously want to bring the content that you guys want to learn more about, but stuff generally, obviously, that I know because it works for me, or I practice what I preach. So I want to bring the stuff that I believe brings value, but I need you guys to have some input too. Right, so I'm going to change direction here, guys. I'm going to get the phone off. So hopefully everyone can see that. Excuse my fingers. All right, dudes. So here's my calendar, right? I'll try not to shake too much, team. So can everyone see that screen? Just give me a thumbs up. If it's okay, if it's clear enough. It looks clear on my end, that's all. So on my Google Calendar, it's got a 4-day, I set it to 4 days as what I can see. It is shaking a bit, sorry guys. So as you'll see, this is today, right? The 18th. In the morning, this is a goal. It's got this flag here. So before I was talking about how you can set goals within Google Calendar. And basically it's cleanse, my center, it's like my kickstart, my reset. It's like my morning routine. So with me coaching in the morning these days, it starts at, as you'll see, 4 a.m. So I'm normally up 5 to 4 or so, 4 a.m. My morning routine is, I get dressed. Some days it could be have a shower before that. But then it's get dressed, get downstairs, I make a coffee, and then I jump in the car. But that's where I've been spending my reading time. So reading, you'll see, comes next, right? So, preferably I'd spend a bit of time having a bit of a coffee first, before I jump in the car, just to sit, have a bit of a sip, just gather my thoughts, get ready for, what we're about to do at 5 a.m. to coach you guys. Then jump in the car, and I'm listening to podcasts instead of physically reading books at the moment, just simply because of the time. And I'm really loving the podcasts that I'm listening to at the moment. So that's my sort of reading time, is to and from work, okay? Then you'll see here I've got my sessions, which is linked to Zen Planner to populate my calendar. So 5 and 6 a.m. sessions this morning. And then prior to this Q&A, I did some sales and marketing. So I had a time block for that. Q&A, so I've put aside the hour, 8 till 9. And then in this window here, I've actually left free because this is my time where I'll be heading home, getting ready for our next appointment, as you'll see in the calendar. But it's also leaving gaps in here for you guys to book those accountability calls. So the 90-day strategy calls or your monthly calls, if you want to chat to me, you'll see them if you use the links that are in the familiar to book your calls. But as you'll see, I've got some overlapping stuff happening here, and that's simply because I'll be in the car. If you don't know, we're building a house. I have a Windows appointment. So I'll be doing our team meeting via Zoom in the car and checking emails when we're on our way back. I've put my sleep in, so to have a nap in the afternoon, so I'm charged up, ready for the evening crew. After that nap, it's content planning, it's workout, then it's prep for the next day, and then it's the 3 coaching sessions tonight. Okay, so this little time block, getting ready for the next day, I go and then assess and make sure that everything is in order that I need on the following day. But having that 4 days out, having a look, it gives me a good snapshot to be able to prepare for what's coming up. But that's just an example of how you can block your time. And just going back to the goals, like you set them and marking them off was number 2 in terms of one of the hacks that you can use. So literally here, I go cleanse, center, kickstart, I did it. And it crosses it off on the calendar. Read or listen to a podcast, I did it. So that's me marking it off, and I can visually see that. And on my phone, it tells me how many did I succeed. So if I had 5 of these set for the week, which I actually have 7, so every single day, those 2 goals, then it'll tell me at the end of the week how many I did, how many I was successful at completing, right? Obviously, if I missed it, I wouldn't mark it off. So, that's just an example of my calendar for today and tomorrow, right? Where everything is blocked out. And I have obviously a lot of space tomorrow, guys, because I'm traveling. I'll be in Brisbane with a work conference, so I'll be in conference there. But yeah, so I hope that makes sense. I hope everyone got some sort of value from that in terms of what I do. But obviously, you've got to find what works for you, okay? So you've got to try and come up with these little strategies and things that you can use to help you stay consistent. So send me some comments, team, if you've got some value from that. If it didn't make any sense, let me know so that I can try and reword it. Hey, Yam, how are you, buddy? Cool, Madsy. All right. So is there any other questions, team? Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before I wrap it up? Because I just wanted to get these 3 hacks across to help you guys stay consistent. Pick a task that you want or something that, your goal. What is the one thing that you may want to change or get better at to be more consistent at? And then try and apply these 3 things to it. Block time for it, whatever time that may need. Have a process for being able to mark it off on your calendar, whether it's digital or on a visual calendar on your fridge like Nick, and get somebody to keep you accountable to that. Okay, they're the 3 I feel fundamental or most important hacks that you can use to be more consistent. Of course, there's all different other little elements depending on what your goal is, but they're the 3 foundational basics that I feel like everyone should be trying to implement with the things that they want to be more consistent at. So thanks for watching, guys. If you loved it, give me some love, give me a like, write a comment to say you enjoyed it, or give me some feedback on what you want to hear about next week or in the following weeks. And I'll see you next week with our next Q&A. Thanks, team. Have a lovely day. Speak to you soon.